All right, thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the First News newspaper. The major story here says 2023 polls. INEC reads Riot Act to politicians. Buy votes, risk 1 year jail term, upon 5 million naira fine. That's about 500,000 naira fine. As the Emeritus Archbishop Onoyekon expresses worry about next year's polls conduct, says, I'm not too confident about 2023 elections. All the details on the front page of the First News newspaper. To the Leadership newspaper now. 2023 presidency, Tinubu, Obi's men shift battleground to south-south-southeast. Governors are supporting Labour Party standard bearer, says Ohaneze. Jonathan's supporters mobilized for APC presidential candidate. All the details on the front page of the Leadership newspaper. And to the Nation newspaper now. Disquiet in PDP over Wike Makinde's others' trip to UK. G5 governors and retreat to decide on preferred presidential candidate. All right, all the details on the front page of the Nation newspaper, Mike.
All right, I have this Nigeria here. That's we're starting on this side. On the side note, the murder so cruel. Outrage over killing of female lawyer by trigger-happy cop. And the Sanwo-Olu IGP Tinubu Atiku condemn act, demand quick investigation. All that you see on the front page of this Nigeria. From that, let's go to Daily Trust. Unpaid tax is the focus here. Bandits kill 4 and abduct over 100 farmers in Niger. 4 village heads in captivity, 1 killed. We're making efforts to rescue them. The police is saying this. And kidnappers killed 3 siblings, motorcyclists, after collecting 60 million naira in Taraba State. And this is happening because of unpaid taxes to the bandits. Really a sad one there. From there, let's go to the Punch newspaper. CBN monitors 6,047 BVNs over suspected fraudulent transactions. Central Bank examines 28 bank customers' operations, 17.89 million bank accounts not linked with BVN. Wow. 17.89 million bank accounts not linked with BVN. Okay, that's what you see on the front page of the Punch newspaper. All right, and Business Day is the last one we're looking at now. Nigeria's oil sector reforms failed to gain traction. Nigeria's oil sector reforms failed to gain traction. That's Business Day, and that's the last one we're looking at right now. Veronica?
All right, Mike, let's look at the stories. Campaigns are in top gear, and politicians moving around, like you see in the papers this morning, trying to get the buy-in of electorates. But INEC is reading the Riot Act, saying, you know what? If you buy votes, you risk 1 year jail term, or you get a 500,000 naira fine. And this is, INEC has been, reeling out all of these riot acts in the previous days leading up to the election. It has been reading out riot acts. He has said that don't bring vote phones to the polling booth. Don't come with your phones.
So you
don't bring bag of rice.
You don't record what's going on, okay, and then snap. Okay,
I voted for you.
Party. You snap by. Come and give you my.
Don't
whatever.
bring bag of rice to the polling booth. Yeah. Don't bring it anywhere close. It has been reading out riot acts, and this is one of it, saying you risk jail term. If you have not been hearing what I've been saying, okay, let me
reiterate them.
Let me reiterate what I've been saying and make it clear to you. You risk a time in jail, a year's term in jail if you buy votes and all of it. But then this is what we've been hearing over time.
Yeah, we've heard this. It's a good thing INEC is reiterating this. However, what impact it's going to have in the minds of people is totally a different thing. But it's a good thing INEC is reiterating it. At times like this, we have seen in the past when even INEC has said, oh, no vote buying, and we still saw vote buying. Now, The issue there is that a lot of persons will wait to see the what I may call good escapism, where you're using somebody as a scapegoat,
yeah.
right? Because you can't get everybody who is doing that. In fact, I think some of the political parties have perfected this system where you won't see anything happening on the ground or around the polling units. Everything happens, far away from the polling
It's
units.
a situation of the more you look, the less you see.
Exactly. So the point there, and moreover, if you're going to get hold of these things, there has to be an evidence that what I'm sharing is actually for political purposes, to induce a voter. Because the issue there is, it is possible that I may be sharing rice, Christmas rice, or what do you call it?
Christmas?
Yes, now.
In February?
It could be Christmas rice I promised my cousin.
Christmas in February?
Yes, it could be Valentine rice, it could be New Year rice, whatever the thing is. But the point there is, things can happen that look like things.
Yes.
So it is until there is an evidence to prove that actually what you were doing was to induce a voter or a group of voters. So it becomes a kind of a complex situation. But INEC is ready to look into all of these. And I'm hoping that they'll be able to get, if at all anybody falls short, they'll be able to get somebody to use as scapegoat. But however, the 500,000 naira fine that is attached to it, either as an alternative or in addition to it, as far as Nigerians are concerned, that money is too small. 500,000, that's 500,000. That's money for recharge card for the person who is even bringing monies to buy votes or buy voters in the first place. That's money for recharge card. So the issue there is that if you're putting that kind of money, you're thinking whether that money is big enough to deter anybody, from doing it. Hey, if you catch anybody doing it and he feels, what's the fine? 500. Please just transfer the money and let us move on. You understand? So to avoid a situation like that, some of these consequences have to be reviewed so that they actually perform the role to which they are meant to, because they are meant to be deterrent in the first place. But however, ultimately, this is where we find ourselves right now. If you go to the US or you go to other developed political societies, as the case may be, people don't share the things the way we share things here. Of course, we also hear there are sharing of things, but it's not the way we do it here. Right? This is the level of our development now. So more enlightenment has to be done so that people begin to understand that, waiting until election to get salt, noodles, rice, and all of those things it doesn't all go well for the future of anybody and even our country and our democracy.
Absolutely.
Just speak to the people. Speak to the candidate, place your demand, ask questions when you have to ask questions, and then move on from there. But I think we're going to see this thing for some time before it begins to win. It is a good thing that we have our democracy, our nascent democracy, that we call it, is about 22 or 23 years old now. So we keep going, and every election cycle, we experiment some things, and then we get better. That's how it is.
Absolutely. The joy for me is the fact that there is some level of awareness. We have seen that, especially with this crop of generation of persons who have come to understand that we need to move beyond all of this. Yes, we haven't gotten to the grassroots, because they are the critical persons here, the grassroots, to get that understanding, because oftentimes the politicians understand that these are the people who perhaps need some of these things that they share. And so they buy their conscience with all of this. I will do this, I'll do that. Oh, we need this thing, and they are giving us this. So why don't, we haven't eaten for some days, we haven't had this. Some of these things come as, this is the time we can enjoy from the hands of these politicians, because we will not see them perhaps in the next 4 years until it's time to campaign. So it is time now for us to eat. I'll get what we need to eat. But then it's beyond that. You need to understand that your vote counts. It is your power. And that you can use this to change the narrative for yourself for the next 4 years.
The challenge,
or 8.
Yeah, the challenge usually is that people at the grassroots level, the way you put it, a lot of them don't apply logic to some of these things. When you're telling, okay, don't sell your vote so that you don't mortgage your future. The logic of all of that is not understandable and clear to a lot of them because they are vulnerable people. People that one carton
because a lot of
noodles
persons have not been able to understand the
Yeah,
language
yeah,
they will
yeah,
understand
yeah. With
to
time.
make them understand this logic and use logic at
Yeah.
the end of the day. But with time,
With time, they will
get there.
Yeah.